Everybody.
What?
As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing that happened.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford.
How about that? So nice. Thank you. How are you?
It was a joy in my heart today to see all these people.
Stupidest thing the Republicans have done is the Great Gatsby party.
Oh my God, right? I mean, optics, hello.
Dude, in the middle of a shutdown.
The whole thing was just like so unbelievably tone deaf. I was like, is he trolling us?
Yeah.
Is he trolling us? But then I realized he's not. He just doesn't get it.
You don't get it because
so
he's not hurting.
No,
he's not hurting.
He's doing great.
And he's probably always wanted to have a Great Gatsby party because he watches movies, right?
He loves his movies. He loves his movies.
You're like a folk hero with how you go on Fox News and fight these conservatives.
Trump is minus 36 on health care.
And you're minus 897 on everything.
Oh, that sounds official.
Let me give you some conservative talking points right now.
Okay.
And let me just give you your left-right hook that you do. The government shutdown is the Democrats' fault.
The government shutdown is not the Democrats' fault because their alleged clean CR is super, super dirty. It includes the big, beautiful bill, and we're trying to help you. 21 of 24 million people affected by the increase in the Obamacare subsidies are your voters. Take the help.
But if the Democrats would just agree with conservatives, it would be over.
No one actually wants that.
Right.
I mean, that's the truth. I mean, that's not like an own, but like Washington is totally dysfunctional, and people feed off this kind of energy, and like that's also not where either base on the Democratic side or the Republican side is.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is that voters don't realize the reason Democrats are not agreeing with the Republicans is, like you said, the CR is dirty.
It's so dirty, and it's like one of my most frustrating lies to me about it. Like they talk about how March was a clean CR, but something pretty big happened in the interim, and also Republicans have been promising us for months that they would do a deal on the ACA subsidies and extending them. So Senator Thune is not being honest about it. Mike Johnson's not being honest about it. The one who I think actually knows the truth is Donald Trump. And you saw that the night after the election when he came out and was like, when the press isn't here, we should talk about the shutdown. It is not going well.
Correct. And last thing for you, I'm about to go talk to Senator Gallego about the same thing.
I love him.
Yes. I'm hearing, rumor mill, that there's senators that are thinking of breaking ranks from the Dems just to get the government open for this ACA vote later. We all know that's not going to happen. Like, they're not going to give you the vote. So what are your thoughts on that?
There might be some truth to it. I think that people feel like the point has been made. The cuts to SNAP benefits, what's about to happen in a more pronounced way with air travel is really intense for the average person, not to mention like the furloughed workers, military members, all of it. Shutdown politics often is lost by the time an election comes around. But they needed to do this to like stake out our morals and our values. I always say that a budget is a moral document. Agreed. And the American public knows where the Democrats' morals are, and that feels mission accomplished to me.
Jessica, thank you for your time, and keep up your hard work.
Arrest him. Arrest him now. What are you motherfuckers so damn scared about? Go wherever that fucking slug is existing and drag his ass out, put handcuffs on him, and throw him in a fucking jail cell. What?
So we want to talk about abuse of power, huh? Well, let me start here. President Trump's only expertise on crime is committing it, not preventing it. Enabling it, not ending it, and covering it up, not cleaning it up. He is a convicted felon. He has illegally frozen federal funding. He has assaulted the rule of law at every turn. He has consistently violated constitutionally protected due process rights, and he has unleashed a corporate agenda to enrich himself and his wealthy donors. Right now, as we sit here, Trump is bending over backwards to protect Ghislaine Maxwell, a convicted sex trafficker who preyed on children and blocking the release of the Epstein files to shield criminals from accountability. In the last 10 months alone, he has pardoned countless white-collar fraudsters who ripped off the American people, often conveniently after they cozied up to him. And let's not forget, Trump pardoned every single person charged or convicted in the January 6th insurrection. That included 172 people who pleaded guilty to assaulting law enforcement. It included dozens of repeat offenders, people with prior convictions for rape, manslaughter, and sexual abuse of a minor. And it included at least 10 individuals who have already been rearrested for new crimes. So spare us the talk of law and order, because under Trump, that only means lawlessness for his friends and punishment for everyone else.
Family to go get the baby.
I don't know.
Let me let the chair.
Shocks the conscience. Shocks the conscience, Nicole, is the same phrase that Dana Sabraw, the judge in the Southern District of California, used when he stopped the family separation policy in 2018. And this video that we're watching right now raises similar questions that policy raised as it relates to the Border Patrol's ability to care for and treat young children in its custody. And just to reset, let's back up. The father here is a 32-year-old United States citizen. His name is Dennis Quinones. And the Border Patrol alleges that they arrested him, detained him, because they found a gun in his vehicle. And when I talked to you on Wednesday, I said to you that both the daughter had been released back to the family and Quinones was released as well. And it turns out that Quinones was not released. He was held overnight at the Metropolitan Detention Center here in Los Angeles, but was released yesterday on bond. We have some new video, not just this angle, that adds additional context to this story, and I want to put it up on the screen right now. In a federal charging document, the Justice Department says that the Border Patrol approached Quinones from over 100 feet or around 100 feet away. And you're watching this video from the Los Angeles Rapid Response Network right now that shows that exact thing happening. Quinones, this is the Home Depot, by the way, around the corner from my house. He is in the far end of the Home Depot parking lot, about as far away, not only from the Day Laborer Center, where they were targeting and had arrested 5 undocumented immigrants, but from the Home Depot itself. And you watch them surround and box in Quinones' vehicle right here. Even if the allegations against Quinones are true, that he had a gun in the vehicle and he threw what the Border Patrol says is a rock-like object at the Border Patrol agents, it raises very serious questions about the Border Patrol's ability to care for a young child like the daughter of Mr. Quinones. And I want to read to you a statement that his mother, once he was released yesterday, issued to the public to better understand how his daughter was treated by the agents that you're seeing on the screen right now. Let me read from it. She said, "When I picked up my granddaughter from the federal agents, she had a dirty diaper, a bruise on her face, and was developing a rash. She was exhausted and cried. My heart aches knowing this could happen to others, to my kids, or even me, despite being U.S. citizens. We're now questioning our safety and feel more vulnerable simply for being Latino. I fear for my grandkids growing up in a country that targets Latinos and profiles dark-skinned people. I hope things improve, though it's hard to imagine how it could get worse." What this brings to mind for me, Nicole, is the time I spent in the McAllen Border Patrol Processing Center at the height of the family separation policy. Those Border Patrol agents said to me then that they were strained and stressed and struggling because they are not trained as social workers. They are not clinical professionals meant to take little children away from their moms and dads, yet that's exactly what that policy did. Dana Sabraw stopped that policy after 5,500 kids were taken away from their parents. Stephen Miller wanted it to be 25,000 using a process called administrative separations. You are watching those same types of agents, Border Patrol agents, basically effectuate family separations in the interior, in this case a U.S. citizen who was accused of a crime. But that does not negate the questions being raised by lawyers and others about how they are treating not only United States citizens, but little toddlers like the 1-year-old girl that's at the center of this story. And this is just the beginning of this story.
Hold on.
Let's say, our speaker decided to grow a spine and actually go ahead and swear in Rep-elect Grijalva. Well, ultimately, that means that we have the 218 signatures that we need for the discharge petition.
Hi, friends. I told you if I had an update, I would let you know. So it looks like I'm going to get sworn in this week. After 7 weeks of waiting, I almost can't believe it's true. I am really upset that one of the first votes that I will take is on a bill that does nothing for affordable health care for the American people. And I also have to say that we have to do something to make sure that one person can't silence the voices of 813,000 people. This can never happen again to another member-elect that is waiting in the wings because someone doesn't want to do their job or because they're playing politics. I'll keep you posted on any details.
Ardent White Sox and Bulls supporter Barack Obama, the 44th president of the United States, is in the building.
That's awesome to see. He's always been a Chicago Bulls supporter. We've had an opportunity when he was in the office to go spend some time at the White House. Yeah. You know, I'll tell you what, I don't care how many times I've been to the White House, man. It's still an awesome place to be.
That's awesome, man.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh, yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
All right. Can you guys hear me? I'm not plugged into my mic. Let's see. I'm gonna switch over though. Let's see. Testing. All right. Okay. All right. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I'm gonna switch back over. Thanks, guys, for being here. I've got some technical difficulties. A bunch of stuff going on this morning. I ordered some groceries, and those came just a little bit ago. So that kind of delayed me from doing the intro and the editing and all that stuff. And then I've got a problem with my power cord. I had this really nice power cord. It was like 10 feet long. And it was perfect because the outlet to my right, I could plug it in there. It was long enough where it would fit over here where I'm actually doing the show from. And then it started fraying, like, you know, and this cord I've had, I don't know how many years I've had that cord. I know I was using it when I was in the truck still. So it's at least 3 years old, probably 4 or 5 years old. So I got my money's worth out of this cord. And it was kind of a heavy duty one. It was really nice, but just from use, it started to fray. It started to sort of bend. And then one day I noticed the other day, smoke coming off this cord. This is the power cord, you know, for your phone. And smoke started coming off of it. So I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to use this cord anymore. So I threw that away. And then in my bag of cords, I found this other cord, which I think is about a foot shorter than the one I had previously. But still, it was working. But the thing about it, I don't know if there was a short in it. It looks like it's all in great condition and everything. But it's also a cord I had from back when I was driving. And the thing is, like, sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. I would plug it into one outlet, it doesn't work. I plug it into another outlet, it worked. And then I was doing that for the last couple of days, and now all of a sudden, the cord just does not even work at all. So I put that in the trash can. So now, right now, because what I do, you know, I try to top this phone off with as the intro's playing, I have it hooked up to the charger. And then in order to go on this microphone, I have to unplug the charging cord and put in the Bluetooth, the little Bluetooth thingy. This little thingy. So that's why I can't charge and... so, you know, but I have this other cord. It's about a 4 foot long cord. It's a nice one. It's very sturdy, very well made. But it's not as long, and so it won't reach from the outlet to my right. I have to put it on this other outlet to my left. But in order to do that, I have to switch everything over. I have to move over this direction, and I have to put the stand that I'm putting the camera on to my left, and I don't like it. I like it better when it's to the right. Everything just seems to work better when it's to my right side instead of to my left. I don't know what that, you know, I don't know why, but I don't like it like this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unplug that cord. I think I have enough juice. Yesterday, I did go pretty long. We went about 3 hours or something. And I started off with less than 100% juice on this phone. I'm not sure. I was probably like 80 something, 87 or something like that, which is plenty enough for me to do a 2.5 hour show. And I think we went to 3. And so and as we were, actually we got the whole show pretty much in, and then it died at the very, very end. But I think if we do a regular 2.5 hour show, I think we'll be okay on the juice. So I'm going to unplug that. I'm going to move the stand back to my right where I prefer it, because I don't know why it is, but looking to my left like this, it just, I guess because, you know, I've got my iPad over here to the right, and that's what I do. You know, I do so much of the show from the iPad. So okay, so here we go. And also, I'm eating a little one of these little apple pie things. I went to Popeyes yesterday for lunch. There's one about 1.5 miles down the road, so I just hopped on the bus. Gus went down to Popeyes, and I had this. They had these on sale for like 50 cents, so I bought 2. I had one for lunch, and then I took the other one home, and I thought this would be good to have with my coffee in the morning. Now, I wasn't planning on having it on the show, but. And I heated it up in the microwave, so it's still a little hot. All right, so get ready for a little shaky cam. I'm gonna unplug this, and I'm gonna move this over. To where I prefer to be. Hey, look at there's Jefferson. You guys caught me watching Tom Hartman. Actually, I just turned it on when I was getting ready, and I really haven't been listening to it because I have the volume down. But anyhow, okay, so I like to have it, I prefer it when it's more like this. Yeah, something like that. I for some reason I just like it like this better. I like it like that. Let's see, will this reach this? See, and the other thing, and then when I unplug the phone, I like to plug it into my iPad. But now I can't even do that. So All right, guys. So now the next thing I do, and I do this, I've got it pretty much down pat. When the intro is playing and I'm down to 24 seconds, that's when I unplug the phone and I plug it into my iPad, the charging cord. And then I plug in the Bluetooth. That's when the guy says, and now the moment you've been waiting for, Trucker John, and then it comes on, it fades out to the time where it says the times of the show. That's when I plug this in. And now hopefully this is on. Let's see, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Am I on now? Did we switch over? Let's see if we got the switch over. There it is. Yes. Hopefully this is on. Let's see. All right. All righty then. It worked. All righty. Hey, mates. All righty. So now I have this big, beautiful spot, and you know what I like to do. You know what I like. I like it like that. I like to put a little something in there. Now, I could do something like, because it's Veterans Day, we could go like, hey, happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service to all the veterans out there. I think I have two. I think I've got, I do. I got this one. We could put these in for a while. I've got another one I'm going to put up later, but I guess for now, we'll put these up. We'll fill that blank spot with some niceties. And I don't mean, I'm not making fun of it. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all that have served, all that stepped up. You veterans, you stepped up. You said that you were willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms and for democracy. Or some of you might have said, you know what, I can't find a job, so I'll join fucking service. That's why I almost joined a few times, because I couldn't find a fucking job in the 80s when Reagan was president. Well, I was in front of recruiters' desks more than once, ready to sign on the dotted line. The Navy, you'll go in as a fucking lieutenant or some shit and get a $15,000 signing bonus, which in 1981 was a lot of money. Hell, it's good money now. I think it was $15,000 or $20,000 signing bonus or some shit. The thing is, I had to be on a fucking submarine for 6 years, and I was like, I don't think I want to be on a submarine for 6 years. The Air Force wouldn't even look at me. They're like, we're not recruiting now. I'm like, okay. The Marines they were going to take me, and the U.S. Army, of course, would take me. I had a bus ticket. That the Marine Corps recruiter sent me to go down to Camp Pendleton. And I was like, at the last second, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I had the Army, I forgot where they were going to send me. I think it was out of state, out of California, for boot camp. And I was like, at the last second, I just chickened out. Not because I didn't think I could do it. I knew I could do it, as far as boot camp and shit. At that time, I was pretty. I don't want to paint a picture like I'm some great fucking Adonis. I was never a great athlete or a great physical specimen, but I was young enough and healthy enough and fit enough that I have no doubt that I would have gotten through any of the boot camps, even the Marine Corps. But
So it wasn't that. I just didn't know if I could make that commitment to go in and maybe and all the discipline. It takes discipline and commitment. So my hat's off to you guys, you service people. Thank you so much for not chickening out. You know, for signing the dotted line, for getting on that bus, for going down to boot camp. Unlike what I did. So thank you guys so much, all you men and women and trans. We have trans folks in the military. At least we used to. I don't know if Trump got them all out or not, but all the folks in the, that have served this country. I just want to say thank you so much. Thanks for not chickening out. Thanks for making that commitment, and for your discipline. It takes discipline to do that shit. I guess I didn't have it. I guess I didn't have what it takes. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Okay, enough of that. I'm looking at the chat right now. We're 0 for 5 on the goal so far. So, but I do see Sandy Foltz was one of the, I think the first one in. And Sandy, before I put the goal up, put a $2 super chat. So thank you so much, Sandy. Yippee to you. Thank you so much. There's a thumbs up and there's a heart for you. And I'm not able to scroll all the way to the top of the chat, but so we're just starting off where Mr. Spock says, howdy, everyone. There you go. Howdy, everyone. Let's see. Am I blocking stuff out? Am I blocking my little logo? Let's see if I can. I don't know. I am blocking the logo completely today. I don't know. Oh, I want to go that way. Let's try this. I don't know. It's now it just doesn't seem right, no matter what I do. But anyhow, or maybe I'm not. Because I guess usually I sit over a little bit more this way or something. I don't know. No, I just ruined it. No, wait. I want to be centered. Is what I want. But everything's opposite. It seems like if I go too far to the left, then you're going to see the wall and shit. So let's see. And that doesn't work. All right. I got to stop messing with it. All right. Just moving the table over a little bit. So anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. We got 31 watching, 27 thumbs up. Probably lost a lot of folks yesterday because of my, I don't know, pro Chuck Schumer. Not on board with throwing Chuck Schumer under the bus, maybe. I think I may have lost a lot of people. Maybe for my view on, hey, look, overnight I was thinking a lot about this, and about the shutdown, and about the hateful eight, the hated eight, capitulating, however you want to put it, agreeing, crossing the aisle and to vote with the Republicans on that. I know it looks bad. I know that 97.6% or whatever of the American people polled were all for standing up in against the Republicans, and we're all there was tremendous support. I don't know if it was 96% whatever, but tremendous support for this shutdown. And I know it looks bad. It looks like just coming off of this great election the last Tuesday. What has it been, a week ago today now? Since the elections that they had, and we had all these great victories, great margins, and so people, a lot of people are like, so what did I vote for, and all this kind of stuff. Well, you did good. You voted to get Republicans, to make sure Republicans weren't getting in office, and that's important, and that still stands regardless of this shutdown situation. But I know that optics are important, and almost every left-wing pundit, I'm kind of gesturing to my TV set here. They're all up in arms. They are calling for Chuck Schumer's head on a pike or a platter. They're not very happy with Hakeem Jeffries either, who's over in the House. I was listening to a little bit of the I Had It girls, ladies, women, trannies, whatever the fuck they are. I don't know. I'm going to lose a few more people for that. Just lambasting Chuck Schumer, complaining about Chuck Schumer, and then Jennifer Welch has the audacity to complain about missing 5 flights or 5 flight cancellations. In the same breath that she's criticizing the Democrats, even though Chuck Schumer did vote no, right? But so what's your you can't have your cake and eat it too, Jennifer. You can't come out criticizing these hated 8 Democrats for going along with the Republicans and for opening government back up, and also be complaining about how you've been missing all these flights. The reason you're missing all these flights is because of the government shutdown. So either take that or shut the fuck up, bitch. Because the reason you're missing the flights is because of the government shutdown. So don't come on and go and then start fucking calling these Democrats all kinds of names and Chuck Schumer all kinds of names because you're missing flights. There's a total disconnect there, I think, with Jennifer fucking Welch. As you can tell, I don't really like her. The I Had It girls, they hobnob with what's that fucker? All these TYT people, they're totally TYT. They promote Ro Khanna, or whatever the fuck his name is. He's a total TYT. Fuck TYT. Fuck Schindler. Fuck Anna fucking what her name is. That's just something I felt like I had to get off my chest. But the thing, okay, so what happened? So now, I guess Mike Johnson is trying to get everyone back that he sent home. He sent his Republican House members home on September 29th, I believe, and they've been out partying, going to Mar-a-Lago parties, probably enjoying the Great Gatsby themes and the synchronized swimming themes, and just having a heyday. But Mike Johnson's calling them back, and they're supposed to be back so that they can open up the House side of the Congress. And by the way, please stop calling just the House the Congress. Congress is made up of 2 branches. It's made up of the Senate and the House. Anyhow, that's another pet peeve of mine when people will say the Senate and the Congress. Motherfucker, Senate is part of the Congress. Anyhow. So anyhow, there's some, I haven't heard the latest. They might even be in session now. I don't even know. I don't know. But so they're supposed to get into session, and he says he's going to swear in. Let's see if I get this right. Adalita Graharva. You saw her in the intro. She was in the intro. And he's going to swear her in, and she will become the 218th vote in favor of I always forget the nomenclature of it, of releasing or the discharge notice, or I don't know. I'm not a fucking U.S. House member, but you know what we're talking about getting the Epstein files released, although that does not release it, because then it has to go to I don't know if it goes to a full congressional hearing or what. I don't know, and eventually it would have to be taken up to Trump's desk, which he will immediately veto. But at least it puts on the record who is going to be voting in favor or not in favor of releasing the Epstein files, and that's important. because that gives us ammo in the future elections. And that's what this government shutdown does also, where with the agreement that the hated eight did, and by opening back government, it will put on record, if they hold a vote to restore subsidies, healthcare subsidies for the ACA, then they'll be on record, all the people who voted no on that. So that's ammo. This is ammo we're getting. And what this does, and all this does by opening back government up and passing their CR and all that shit, it funds the government through sometime in January. So in January, we're going to be back again, right where we were in September when they were negotiating this or voting on the CR. So we're going to be right back again where we are in January. But what this does, I think this is beneficial. I think this is good. I think what this does is it gets us through the holiday season. People can get back to work. Millions of people, probably, I don't know, or hundreds of thousands of people back to work, get paid. Gets people getting paid. It gets people their SNAP benefits. It gets people fed. And it opens up the airlines. I was trying to think, why did my two Democratic senators from Nevada, why are they part of the hated eight? Why did they go along with this? Nevada survives on tourism. The two biggest population centers of Nevada are Clark County, which is the Las Vegas area, and up in Reno, what's their county? It's Coconino. No, it's Cochise. No, it's not Cochise. It's something like it's whatever the county is up there in that greater Reno area. That's it. Everything else is all tumbleweeds and rattlesnakes, pretty much. And Clive and Bundy assholes, or whatever that guy's name was, his family out in the sticks, out by Mesquite. And air traffic has been slow even before this shutdown here in Vegas, because of all the Canadians. They were pissed off and said that fuck it, we're not going to America anymore because of Donald Trump. And people from Europe and other places around the country who see all this shit going on, with ICE just grabbing people. So you can get Europeans and shit who are like, what if they grab me? Or whatever. So air traffic and tourism has been down this entire year. And now on top of that, you've got the flights the cancellations, and you've got what's his name, Sean in TV guy, Sean Real World as the is he DOT secretary, whatever the fuck, and where they're limiting the amount of flights. They're cutting it down every day, or it was like 6%, then 8%, then 10%. Eventually, it was going to be 20%. I don't know what it topped out at, but they were going to reduce flights because air traffic controllers are not getting paid. And I don't know, half of them are calling in sick. They're kind of rotating. I think that it might be. I don't know if it's a coordinated thing, but they're not. A lot of them aren't showing up because they're not getting paid, so they're calling in sick, and I don't blame them. And I saw a clip where this dude, Sean Roadkill, said that before the shutdown, before all this was going on, they were averaging about 4 to 5 people, I think, a day that are retiring, just because people, retire, just natural retirements, or they've worked, they're up in their whatever age they are, and they've got so many years in, and they're eligible for retirement. So they said like 4 to 5 a day. Since this shutdown and since they stopped paying them, it's like, I think he said like 15 to 20 a day are retiring, not calling in sick, but just fucking retiring. Which I don't blame them either. It's like, I might as well retire and maybe start collecting benefits, my pension or whatever. There's, I could totally relate. I could totally see me being like, if I'm 65 and I'm still working as an air traffic controller, and I'm eligible for retirement. I could have retired maybe, and I was just thought, well, maybe I'll work another year, maybe I'll work another 5 years, a couple of years more. We'll just take it year by year, see how I feel. And but then this happened. I would be like, fuck it, I'm too old for this shit. Fuck this shit, and I would retire. So they're going through that, and I think we were on the verge of a collapse in the airline industry, which is a major industry. And it's important here in Vegas for tourism. Very, very important. And I think that had a big was a big reason why our 2 Democratic senators here in Nevada went along with this. I think they're looking out for the state of Nevada. I guess my point is this is not. I think it's easy for us to sit in our armchairs and armchair quarterback everything and just say these guys are assholes. They should all be primaried. They're evil. I've seen it where they've been labeled as evil, pure evil. Nazis, everything. I don't think that's the case. I think I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. If you want to primary him, primary him. I don't, fine. Go ahead, primary him. I don't give a fuck. My only concern is that when it comes to the general election, if whoever you were trying to primary, if that person still ends up winning the general election, then I really hope and pray to God that you goddamn well still vote for that person. In other words, if John Fetterman survives a primary attempt, I sure hope to fucking God you motherfuckers vote for John Fetterman. Okay, that's my point with all that. But if you want to primary John Fetterman, fucking primary his ass. I don't give a fuck. But if the primary doesn't work, if your little plan didn't work, and the person you put up wasn't good enough to beat Fetterman, then I sure hope to fucking God you vote for Fetterman in the general election. Because as I said yesterday, a guy who votes 95% with your party is a hell of a lot better than someone who's going to vote 0%, which is what you'll get if you replace Fetterman with a Republican. So this continuing resolution is going to get voted in, and it's only going to fund the government through the end of this year, and then sometime in January it comes up again. So by then we should know. I mean, we'll have it on record that the Republicans aren't going to help save the ACA. Because that's what everyone says now, right? But we will know. We'll have it on record by then. And we can shut the government down again in January. And we won't have the busiest travel season of the year coming up in January. In fact, things get kind of dead in January. We won't have the biggest shopping days of the year coming up that really, for a lot of companies, now I don't give a fuck about Walmart, but there's a lot of other companies smaller companies. There are some mom and pop companies out there that if it's not for the Christmas, the holiday shopping time, they probably won't survive. Do we need to add that to our list of woes of being responsible for bankrupting those companies? So I still think that opening the government back up again, getting things rolling again, is a good thing. I know that you disagree with me, most of you, and that's okay, because I understand it. I get it. It's like, yeah, we were in the fight. We were in this. We were ready to hold out. But I think you got to weigh things out, and it's not so easy as just yelling at Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and the Hated Eight, calling for their heads. That's a lot of it's a lot. That's a lot of emotion there, and I don't know if it's thought out, very well thought out. Anyhow, the chat is rolling. I see Jolie in here. Hello, Jolie. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Anna Moore's here. The chat's been rolling along. I think we're still in the intro phase of the chat. Marcus Mills is here. Hey, Marcus, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. We got Damon Dog, the Big Dog. I've been watching Damon's e-bike videos. Man, Damon, that looked like quite the process, the assembly process. Looked like there was a lot of parts you had to put together, but it looks like you got it put together. And so far, it hasn't fallen apart on you. But it looks like a really cool bike. I would like to get one. I really would. I think I'm going to save up my money and get one. William is here. Hello, William. Deborah Murphy is in the chat in the driver's lounge. Thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate you. Belfast Bob Voltaire is here from Ireland. He's from Ireland, right? Gotta be. MJ Daniel from up there in Washington State says the Republican Party hates middle class and poorer Americans and keep finding new ways to fuck people. They do. I believe that. I'll agree with you on that. The Republican Party just takes away everything for normal, average working people and low-income people and poor people. And whatever they can squeeze out of that, then they just give it to the rich. They give it to the rich. And I do believe that's the main difference between people say that both parties are the same, and they're not. The Democrats, they want higher wages. I see Aaron's here. So we are at full mod capacity. Full mod capacity. Fuck you, One Vision. Anyhow, what was I saying before I was so rudely interrupted? Stephanie B2 is here. Hey, Steph, good to see you. Nick Rich 937. I'm like a half hour behind. I don't know. I went off on a kind of an early rant today, but I thought it was important to just kind of unload that shit, quick. Was I talking about Damon Dog's bikes? I like his bikes because I see Damon Dog again. I forget where I left off, but Damon Dog says, I posted a Veterans Day video of Obama on a plane full of vets. Well, that wasn't my intro, so maybe you missed that part of my intro. That was the very first clip of my intro. Aaron West, I've got to run home and treat the yard for fleas, so I'll mostly be listening. Take care of them fleas, Aaron. Paul Burrows is here from Idaho. Thanks for being here, Paul. Paul says, got to go to the post office and change my address. Peace out. Yeah, Paul Burrows, man. Yeah, I hope you get settled. I don't know. You're getting a new place or have to move. It's a hassle. But I hope it all works out for you, Paul. I really, really do. Gino Maynard says the Senate Democratic Caucus could have a no confidence vote today to remove Schumer as leader and Durbin as whip. Any senator can intimidate it. I think you mean initiate it. But in any case, okay, well, look. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, so everyone's calling to change Schumer out. Who have you seen anyone stepping up to the plate to take that position? I don't see anyone. We can all sit here in our armchairs and say, I want Bernie, I want Elizabeth Warren, I want fucking Joe Schmo. I don't see any of them stepping up to the plate and saying, okay, I'll do this. Hold my beer. I'll take over. And so, and they all know each other. If there was someone that wanted to take over, they would probably do it. You know, and they do little votes, you know, amongst themselves. They take the temperature, right, of the room and all that shit. I don't see anyone stepping up. So until someone steps up and says, yes, I will challenge Chuck Schumer for the party leadership, then that's a moot point. Because, like I said, we can armchair quarterback this all we fucking want. I want this guy. I want that guy. Well, does that guy want it? That's the question. Does that guy or gal, do they want it? That's more important than what you want. You can't make someone be the fucking leader. They got to want it. You got to want it to win it. David Dog Splitter. No, I'm not having that conversation again. We've had that conversation before, and I'm not doing that about the thing. The thing. I have so many other things on my plate. I can't even think about going to Amazon and ordering a splitter. Okay. Miss Buck says, did you do the mod on your e-bike to make it go faster, Damon Dog? Can you do that? Can you make it go faster? Nick Rich 945 in TJville. Gosh, well, I'm about what 31 minutes behind. I'm 31 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 31 minutes behind. 31 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 31 minutes behind. Step to B2 says Air Force looked at me and laughed when I wanted to join the band. Mr. Spock says, what a crash already, Demon Dog. Oh, should I be able to cut one wire and bypass the governor thing? Okay, you guys are talking about hacking the e-bike, so I'm going to skip that. Sandy Folds is saying hi to Trixie LaRue. So, there's Brooklyn. Brooklyn SJU is here. Hey, Brooklyn, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Nola Carnes is here. Hey, Nola, good to see you in the driver's lounge. It's so good to see you. Tim Farrell, the Farrell one's here. Hey, Tim Farrell, good to see you in the driver's lounge. I'm kind of skipping down. I kind of want to get caught up a little bit. Jolie's got the link to Damon Dog on YouTube, and you can watch Damon Dog's adventures on his new e-bike. I did see the one where he almost ran into the tree. That was kind of funny. I think that was the maiden voyage. That may have been your maiden voyage there. You went down and I think for the interest of entertainment, you should have just went ahead and ran into the tree. But you weren't wearing your helmet. Where was, you had a video of you with a helmet. I mean, a picture. But then on the video, you got if you're gonna buy it, you might as well wear it. David Dog says, okay, short of me crashing on the trike, my friend loosened some bolts. He thought it was funny to see me crash. Such an asshole sometimes. That's not cool, man. Loosening some bolts? That's not cool, man. Roxanne said, what's up? Am I the only one here? My comments are back to back. You all aren't mad at me, are you? everyone has blocked you, Roxanne. So you're only seeing your own. No, I'm only kidding. I have it on all messages, and I'm seeing a bunch of messages. So we got 40 people watching, only 39 thumbs ups. We are dangerously close to acting like Republicans, folks, at that deficit. So hit the thumbs up, and let's get us acting more like good Democrats. Mr. Spock says alcohol was the cause of the last few crashes. I guess Mr. Spock is crashing on his electric scooter thingy because he's doing that while being intoxicated. So I don't recommend that. I don't recommend doing that. Catherine Real Hell Talks here says, hi, everyone. Hi, TJ. Blessed Veterans Day. To our armed forces, I found video of our national anthem on bagpipes today. Oh, my God. There's something about hearing that on bagpipes, huh? It's like really kind of spine tingling or it gives you goosebumps. Gina Maynard says the minority whip Durbin voted for the deal and against his minority leader. If we reward failure, then we deserve failure. Cope is not a virtue. I guess it depends on if you consider it failure. I think the Republicans showed that they weren't going to come off of their stance about restoring funding and for the subsidies, for the healthcare subsidies, and as I've just kind of outlined, with a looming airline collapse, industry collapse due to this shutdown, and with millions of people not being paid for their work and millions of people not being fed. You can disagree. You can disagree all you want. I don't see it as failure. I don't see it as if you sided with the Republicans on this. I don't see that as failure. I see that as a difference of opinion. A difference of opinion intact. I don't think we were going to get the subsidies, and all we were going to get is more hurt. Talk about not getting anything. I don't think we're going to get the subsidies, at least not now. And all it would cause is more and more and more hurt. Maybe, but I think maybe in January we can do it again, and then we will have, like I said, more ammo because we will know exactly where the Republicans stand. We will have them on record as being the party that is against health care for Americans. It just gives us more ammo in January. Nick Rich 10. I did skip down, so now I'm 22 minutes behind. You, Nick Rich, I'm 22 minutes behind. I'm skipping down. I'm probably even less than 22 minutes now. Apparently, Victor Harshman's here, so thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Christina Weibel, nobody's going to say hi. Hello, Christina Weibel. I might be 20 minutes late to that post, but hi, Christina Weibel. Skipping down a bit here. Catherine Real Health Talk says ICE possibly leaving Chicago this week. What's going to happen to people in custody? They will just sit there and rot. I don't know. That's horrible, I know. Maybe Big Jolly and Don Lemon will break them out. An all-new episode of Prison Break. Christina Weibel, not enough smoke to make me forget. Damon Dog says, I like the way Nick Rich described my fat ass. Victor Harshman says Mike Johnson said yesterday they probably won't bring ACA subsidies up for a vote. Dems got played. I don't think they got played. I think they knew the risks. Okay, call them what you want. They're not that stupid. They knew that they probably weren't going to get voted on. But at least now they can say, look, we gave them every opportunity to vote on this. You guys, whatever. You guys can believe whatever you want. You can hang on to the fact. You can hang on to your opinion that this was awful and this was a horrible. Then these people are horrible. They're evil. They need to be primary. Chuck Schumer needs to go. You can believe all that shit you want, but instead of actually remembering what really is going on, and that is that we have a horrible president in the office right now who's doing some horrible things, and we need to concentrate on the upcoming midterm congressional elections, which are less than a year away now. And going through a shutdown for over 40 days, it's been over 40 days now where people are not getting paid. I don't see how that helps the country. Terry Taylor says, hi, TJ in chat. I agree with your assessment, TJ, of why the 8 Dems did what they did. Oh, thank you, Terry, for that. Thanks for agreeing with that. I appreciate that. Hey, we're acting like good Democrats at least. Got 41 watching, 44 thumbs up, so we are at a surplus. That's how Democrats run things, at surpluses. Catherine Real Hot Talk says, this starts with R, perfectly willing to bring the entire country to a screeching halt to prevent the Epstein files from getting out. Yeah, that's the other thing. That's we talk about distractions. This has been one pretty big, huge distraction from the Epstein files. For you guys that don't know, because Nick Rich says DPD 54, TJ is behind, way behind. If you've been watching the show for any more than like 2 days, you should know how this works. You should know how this works. I read the chats. It would be physically impossible for me to be currently caught up if I'm going in through and reading chats. The moment I start reading a chat, it puts me behind. I could read the latest one from Michelle that says Republicans were on vacation and would not talk at all to the Democrats. Look, and another one just came in, and I'm already behind. Christina Weibel says, we do, John. I think that's in reference to acting that we operate in surpluses. I'm already behind. Even though I'm reading the most current ones, I'm already behind. Do you guys not get that? This is another one of my pet peeves. Now, people don't understand how if I'm reading chats from 25 minutes ago, obviously I'm going to be behind. And as I read them, it takes time to read them, so that just the time of reading is going to put me behind. And then if I go off on a tangent, that's going to put me behind even more. And I have no problem with that, but some of you seem to have problems with it. I don't understand it. I could just read could just do the very current one and screw all the other ones. Like Gina Mayer. Oh, well, that moved. The most current one, Michelle. Thank you, Trucker John. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Show's over. No, I'm going back. God damn it. I'm going back 25 minutes ago. Where DPD says, hi, Nick and Nola. There you go. See? If I hadn't gone back 25 minutes, I would have never read that. Now I am skipping. I just skipped probably 10 chats, but because here's what I did. I'll reenact what I just did on my iPad. I went like this on the chat. When I do that, it skips. So if I didn't do periodic skips, I would guarantee you I would be 45 minutes behind. I'd be an hour behind. So anyhow. And then as I'm perusing down through, I continually sort of edit or skip. Human F Being. Now I haven't heard from Human F Being, so I'm going to read Human F Being's chat. And this is probably from 25 minutes ago. Human F being says MAGA is not going to fund the ACA. They've made it clear they'd rather starve people than allow it to continue. And as I was saying yesterday, so let's live to fight another day. We will have to fight the ACA or for the ACA another day. Now, it might not exist very much longer. It might get starved to death because of lack of funding. But we're not in power. You guys didn't fucking vote. I'm not talking about you guys. I know you in the chat did. But I'm talking about overall, you motherfuckers out in the world, out in America, the United States. I guess the whole world can't vote for us for our election. But you know what I'm saying. You motherfuckers didn't fucking vote. And the ones that did, you voted for the goddamn pedophile felon. So don't come crying to me now that you're going to lose the ACA. You motherfuckers should have voted for fucking Kamala Harris. God damn it! I keep coming back to that. It's the fucking voters, or lack thereof. The 19 million that didn't show up. Blame it on them. You want a fucking heads on a pike? Go find those 19 million motherfuckers. We got primitive Elcon? Primitive icon. Well, I mean, is that an I or an L? Looks like an L to me, but anyhow. Well, that's actually, I recognize that, the little picture icon. So that's someone else. But anyhow, you're going to have to tell me your real name if you don't want me to just go by a primitive icon or Elcon or whatever. It says, hey, TJ, good to see you. Yo, Agoff, como está? Roxanne, Mr. Spock, V for our vets. There you go. No Lacarnes, what did I miss? Oh, no, Lacarnes, you missed a lot. You missed a lot. Catherine Real Health Talk says it has been approved to dangle the food carrot and health care during winter, no less, so the Republicans can still get everything that they fucking want at our expense. You know what? And I don't mean this at you, Catherine, because I just mean this in general. And generally speaking, I'm going to say, you know what? You don't like the Republicans being in power? Then stop fucking voting for Republicans. Stop electing Republicans. That's we all have the hills we're gonna die on. I guess that's gonna be the hill I'm gonna die on. You don't like what's going on right now in Congress? Then goddamn it, stop electing Republicans. That's the hill I'm dying on. I'm not sure how much Chuck Schumer had to do with Donald Trump getting elected and Republicans winning enough seats in both the House and the Senate to get the majorities. I'm not sure how much Chuck Schumer actually had to do with that. I think very little, actually, that he had to do with it. Christina Weibel says, I love our Democratic Republic, and I'm willing to die for it. I just wish that these corporate Dems would stop lying to us for Trump. I'm not sure if they are lying for Trump. If you're talking about the hated eight, it's called politics. It's called tact. It's called strategy. It's called diplomacy. Where you word things carefully. You say things carefully. Where everything you say as a politician should be, I'm not saying it always is, but it should be very well thought out, crafted. I think. At least not all the time. It's nice to have some candid moments, but when it comes to this, as far as the continuing resolution and whether or not they're lying for Trump or whatever, maybe you don't like that they're not just coming out and saying what's really on their mind. But sometimes it's called cajoling or cajoling or whatever that word is. I mean, you've got to sort of play the game. You've got to sort of lure be a lure. You know what I mean? Alluring. Be alluring, like me. Adolf Twitler says Senator John Carl Fetterman. Oh, I don't know why we need his middle name, but anyhow, he was elected in 2022. Senator Maggie Hassan of New Hampshire. She was reelected in 2022. Primaries in 2028. All right, you want to primary him? Go ahead and primary him. Absolutely. If you can get better Democrats in there, absolutely, 100% do it. All I'm saying is, if whoever you put up against them doesn't win, then you goddamn better well vote for that nominee, that incumbent nominee there. Or else you're going to end up with a far worse situation by getting a Republican in there, which will always be worse. That's all I'm saying, folks. That's all I'm saying. Nick Rich, 1:11 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm 24 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 24 minutes behind. I'm 24 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 24 minutes behind. Adolf Quitler says Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia, he was reelected for a third term in 2024 and also has in his state over 150,000 federal workers. Just put that in there. That might have had a lot to do with his decision. Senator Jackie Rosen of Nevada was reelected in 2024. Independent Senator Angus Young of Maine won a third term in 2024. I'm not sure if Angus King, what did I say? Did I say Angus Maine? I don't know, Angus King of Maine. Is he one of the ones that's retiring? I'm not sure. Jackie Rosen, I haven't heard of any thoughts about her retiring. She's pretty popular. Of the two, she's more popular than Catherine Masto Cortez. See, I'm doing better with the name. A little bit better than yesterday. I think she's a little bit safer than Masto. I don't know, why didn't you put her name in here? Oh, maybe you're not. Maybe that'll be in a future paragraph, future posting. I think Jackie Rosen might be fairly safe by the time she comes around for re-election, which would be 2030. So that's another thing for her that she's got going for her. And why she wasn't too worried maybe about doing this, because she's still quite a ways off to re-election. Human F Being says, now that they know they can get anything they want by holding Snap hostage, they'll probably do it again. I don't. What makes you think they can get? They think they can get whatever they want. I don't think they can. I don't think they can get whatever they want. I think holding out for 42 days, and where we have an industry on the verge of collapse in the airline industry, and we have people, hundreds of thousands of people not being paid, hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people not being fed. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you can disagree, but I mean, don't take it so lightly. You know, this isn't something to be taken lightly. Like this decision, like this is such an easy thing. I don't think it's easy. This is complex. This is complex, man. This is called complexity. I gotta go get a water. I'll be right back. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I know you're 30 minutes in the future. Because how long would this have gone on? Okay, let's say if the Hated Eight didn't do what they did, and this kept going on, and then Mike Johnson doesn't call back his people. We get into the November break for Thanksgiving week, and they take off. They take off 2 weeks for that. They come back for December. They're back for maybe on a week or two, and then they're going to break for Christmas and New Year's. How much would they have actually gotten done? And would they have gotten anything done? Do you think Mike Johnson would have done anything? He would have just kept everybody out all through the rest of November and all through December anyhow. And so here we are back into January, where I said the CR is going to end anyhow. So I don't know what they got and what we gave up. I don't know how it really changed the actual outcome of things. We weren't going to get the ACA funding, and Dwight Johnson was going to keep closed. He was going to keep the House closed, and they have, like I said, they wouldn't have gotten anything done anyhow till after New Year's anyhow. So at least this way, like I said, people will get paid, people will get fed in the interim. Walter McCarver says, "Good morning, Trucker John. I just wanted to come in and say Veterans Day wishes to all the truckers and in the Truckers Lounge, well, that are veterans. This is because you're, but anyhow. Thank you for your service. Any word on Hal and how he's doing? I hope he's okay. I haven't heard anything from Hal. I saw he posted on Instagram this very pretty picture, probably out the window at his dad's place, of it kind of snowing and this kind of really wintry kind of look, and he just had a caption like, what do you say, like nature can't help being poetic or something like that. But I haven't heard anything else, so I've not heard. Ballfuss Bob says, got interrupted. Their door went opened it for teenagers in mass thought robbery, but anything for Halloween? I said yes. Firstly, Halloween was last week, and second, my foot up your ass if you don't fuck off. Okay, all right then. All right. Catherine Real Health Talk says, but it's going to keep happening until the entire Democratic Party actually gets together with the balls and brass to actually fight for us instead of just their selective interests. We have to remember the Democratic Party is at a huge disadvantage when you are the minority party. That's the way it goes, folks. That's why I keep telling you elections have consequences and how important it is to get out and vote. Because when we're in the minority, we don't really get anything done. Very rarely can we get anything. And all we can hope for is to get some scraps, to get something. Maybe we can be an impediment and get something through, but a little tiny sliver of what we would normally get if we were in the majority. That's why I cannot overemphasize the importance of voting. And I'm going to always put this back on the voters. The 19 million who stayed home, the motherfuckers, the 75 million or whatever, 77 million that voted for Trump, I'm going to put that on squarely on those two groups of people. That's why we are where we are today. And blaming the Democrats for not fighting when they're in the minority is kind of like fill in the analogy, because I'm coming up. I don't. It's kind of like being out in the rain without an umbrella and bitching about it. I don't know. That was just my on the fly analogy. But Victor Harshman says we cannot afford infighting in this critical moment. Let's regroup and keep up the fight. Let's live to fight another day. And I think that other day is going to come in January. We're going to have a bunch of marches and a bunch of things between now and then. I think we can still keep the political pressure up. We can still keep the fervor up. We can still keep all that up. We're going to keep it up. I see Mad Mag is here. Slava Ukrainian. Hey, Mad Mag. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Sean Duffy. Yeah. Boy, that's how far behind I am in the chat where David Dog is reminding me of Sean Roadkill MTV Rules guy. His last name was Duffy. I think I might have said Murphy at one point. Anyhow, see, guys, that's how the chat reading the chat works. That's how it works. I can't be two places at one time. It's physically impossible. In case you didn't know that. Brooklyn with the $2 super sticker. Brooklyn SJU, yippee! Thank you so much. Full mod capacity. Thank you there, Brooklyn. I appreciate you. We are at 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 on the goal. On the super chat goal today. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Let's see. Belfast Bob says, no, Roxanne, they take the piss round these parts. Just teenagers trying to get money. We shits. As in little wee shits. The little wee, the wee ones. The wee ones. Catherine, real hell talk. Chuck Schumer wouldn't give up that position easily. Like I said, if someone wants to challenge him, then step up and challenge him. Otherwise, we can sit here and go, I want Elizabeth Warren. I want Bernie Sanders. I want, whoever the fuck. Who are the other names we keep hearing? Number one, do our wishes match to their wishes? Rokana says, Christina Weibel says, Rokana is calling for a no confidence vote. Is he going to step up? Is he going to run for the leadership role? Let's see if he's got the balls to do that. You can no confidence all you want, but then who are you going to replace him with? Someone. I haven't seen anyone step up to the plate yet. Step up to the plate, Ro. You're such a big man. Step up to the plate, motherfucker. Robert Perez from San Diego, down San Diego way, is here. Thanks for being here. Robert says, yo, Trucker John, top of the morning to you and to all the lovely liberals in the Truckers Lounge. I think I saw you post a picture of one of your grandkids, a little cute kid. I think, did I not see that somewhere? Am I not supposed to say that? I don't know. Anyhow, I see one of the little rugrats that's been running you crazy. But they're just so cute and adorable. How can you get mad? How can you get mad at them, right? Christina Weibel says, I heard Rokana on the Midas Touch Network today. And what was he spouting? That Chuck Schumer is weak, doesn't fight, and I'm sure he brought something up about strongly worded letters. Let's see you do it, motherfucker. Let's see you get your fucking leftist ass up there and see if you can get the support to be the speaker, or not speaker, but the in this case the minority leader. Rokana, talk is cheap, bitch. Talk is cheap. That's all I'm saying. Rokana, step up, motherfucker. Belfast Bob says, bye TJ, Chad, and Maz. We'll all support you, TJ, if they can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. Catherine Hilltop, Christina, I heard. I think Midas, as we're trying to say, and Mockler are good. Yeah, I like Mockler. He's a good kid. Luke Beasley, Mockler, there's a whole bunch of young kids that I think are good. I think they're good. They're probably saying all the same shit that all the lefties are saying about Chuck Schumer and shit. I haven't really watched them, so I don't know. I haven't watched them in the last few days, so I don't know what they're saying. But I don't really care. I say what I say. I say what Trucker John says. I march to my own drummer, I think. Mr. Spock, helmets are for suckers, famous last words. Kristen Weil, Occupy Democrats, MSW, Keith Olbermann are all good. I like Olbermann. I think he's good. He's very poignant, very thought-provoking. Occupy Democrats, I see their posts. They're good. What's MSW? I don't even know what that is. Nick Rich, 20 past the hour, so I'm 29 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 29 minutes behind. 29 minutes behind you, Nick Rich. I'm 29 minutes behind. I do that in the hopes that people will listen and they'll know that Trucker John is 20 minutes behind in the chats. FS Bob, I think it's February 2029. Damon Dog, laughing out loud. That's mid-thread. Totally mid-thread. Don't know what they're talking about. DBD5844 says, all I know is that we cannot sustain a society at this pace. Something's got to give eventually. If Republicans stay in power, if we keep electing Republicans and voting them in, yeah, we will not. Our Constitution will be shredded and thrown out, and we will not be. We will not be a constitutional. We will not be a country that is guided and founded or operated on the foundations of the Constitution. It will be a whole new thing. It'll be a whole new Project 2025 will be the new Constitution. Probably. Something like that. Catherine Real Talk says, Joe Walsh always said that Republicans fight to the death and know that Democrats don't fight. Well, you know what, Joe Walsh? Joe Walsh was a Republican, so fuck him. Democrats fight. I think Democrats fight. Christine Wyman, Brooklyn, they had Brooklyn on this morning. Brooklyn says a great bass player for the Eagles. Oops, wrong Joe. Yeah, that was the wrong Joe. I'd rather have the Eagles' Joe Walsh in politics than the former Republican Joe Walsh, who claims to be, I don't know, does he claim to be a Democrat now? I still don't trust him. Don't trust him as far as I can throw him. And I'm old and weak and I can't throw very far anymore. So. Agolf Twitler says Republican trolls are already logging on their agents' provocateur accounts and pretending to be Democrats who hate Democrats. You got to watch out for that. Yeah, watch out for that. Belfast Bob says in a functional democracy, the people need to engage always, or you get people like dump, etc. A lot of people checked out in 2024. I'm not sure why. Christine Wells says it does boil down to the pedo protection program being at fault for everything that's going on. Speaking of which, we can go ahead. No disrespect to the veterans. I already said my wishing veterans happy Veterans Day and thanking them for their service. But now we go to what could be a good cover for, I don't know, Time Magazine. Pedophile of the Year. Donald J. Trump. Right there. Yes, sirree, bebop. Is that how it goes? What? Didn't want that one. Not that that's not a good one, but I want to put my sign on. Where's my sign? Bill, whatchamacallit? Here's your sign. Here we go. There we go. Pedophile of the Year. All right. So thank you, Christina, for reminding me about that. I had that meme up there. Michelle says Republicans were on vacation and will not talk at all to the Democrats. Michael Johnson sent them home since September 29th. Told them to go, leave Washington. Democrats have been sitting in Washington every day since saying, we are ready. Open Congress. We are ready to negotiate. And Mike Johnson, little Mikey Johnson, little Michael Grinder Johnson would not do it. The Democrats were there, willing and ready the whole time. Jolie says, no more shutdown talk. It's polarizing. We all have our opinions, and I'm pretty sure we've all stated them. I would take car talk or sports talk over this, and you know how much I love those topics. Well, I'll stop talking about it when people stop talking about how much they hate Chuck Schumer and that he should be immediately replaced without giving me someone that's going to replace him. Catherine Real Talk says, TJ, the stuff that's happening now was predictable and preventable all the way up until 2024 elections. Nobody in authority had the balls or the brass to do anything. I don't know what you're talking about. Could you be a little more specific? The stuff that's happening now about what? About ACA subsidies could have been prevented? Up until the 2024 elections? Under Biden, ACA subsidies were strengthened, were increased. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. All right, I'm skipping on down. So DPD says, TJ, why don't you do a cooking video like Don Lemon does on his podcast? People in the chat could possibly give you ideas on things to cook, or maybe you could prepare your fetish dish. So we just want to, I guess politics, you guys are sick of politics and you want me to do cooking shows. I won't completely shoot that down because I've done a variety of subjects over the last 3.5 years that I've been doing this show. If you go back, and even before during this show, I was doing trucker videos where I was making coffee in the truck or making things with my little lunchbox cooker that you plug in. I mean, I was doing that in the truck. So I mean, I'm not going to completely poo-poo that remark. I mean, because who knows what I'm going to resort to. Maybe we're just all politicked out. We're burned out on politics right now. Maybe we do need me to be the clown. To be the clown and distract us from the politics. I'm just a clown. I'm your trucker clown. Let's not talk about politics. I want you to be the clown, Trucker John. Where's my clown, Trucker John? I come here as a distraction from politics, not to be hit over the head with them. So I'm not going to completely discount that comment because I might start doing cooking videos. If it's going to get me 100,000 views, I'll do cooking videos, okay? If it gets me 100,000 subscribers, I'll fucking cook, I'll scrape the scabs off my knee and cook those if that's going to get me 100,000 subscribers, all right? There, I said it. A little honesty, right? Never hurt anybody. Catherine Real Talk says the Democratic Party never changed their patronizing games and pretending to give a fuck about us, but for a select small group. And Bernie Sanders, the Democratic Party only selectively cares. And Bernie Sanders, by the way, is not a Democrat, so I don't think he could be. Well, I guess he could be the majority leader. I don't know what the rules are. But just so you know, Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. So. Nurse Fuck, I forgot what I said 2 minutes ago or sooner. As soon as I can't see the type thing. I don't know. All right, I'm skipping down. I know I'm way behind, so I'm going to start skipping down a little bit here, and maybe I'll go off on a different subject. You guys don't want to talk about the shutdown. You don't want to talk about politics, and maybe I will move the camera over to the kitchen, and I'll cook some Pop-Tarts. I'm trying to think what could I could cook my normal breakfast, which is either sausage or bacon. I don't think I've done both. It's either sausage or bacon. And I cook some hash brown potatoes, and then I'll usually make an omelet of some sort, or sometimes I'll just put the eggs right in with the potatoes and mix it all up, and crush up the bacon or the sausage, and just make a big, what I would kind of call it the hobo breakfast, because that's kind of what I would get over at Karen's Kitchen, over in Palmdale, Lancaster. They had these restaurants called Karen's Kitchens, and they had this hobo plate. They called it. No offense to hobos. I probably just violated a bunch of politically correct things by saying the word hobo 15 times. But that's kind of what I make with that. Put a little salsa in there. Put some extra cheese on it. I could do that. Would you guys prefer that I do that? Like I said, if that gets me 100,000 subscribers, I'll fucking cook hobos breakfast meals every fucking day. Every fucking day. Victor Harshman says 40% of Americans did not vote in the last election. So I put that squarely on them. The reason why we are where we are today is because of the fuckers that didn't vote. Anamore says, why are we picking on TJ? How about your bug situation? I saw 2 bugs. I saw one yesterday and one this morning. And it pisses me off. They're supposed to come and spray. I thought it was going to be tomorrow. I went to the office to talk to the lady and just confirm, and she says, no, it's next Wednesday. So I did buy the combat traps. I have not put them out yet because I read on the instructions that said don't put them out if you're going to spray or something like that. And so I've been waiting for them to do this spray before I put the combat traps out. Where that's the one where they go in, they take the bait and they take it back to the nest, and then they kill everybody in the nest. I haven't put those out yet because I've been waiting for the big spray that they're supposed to do, that they've been talking about now for a month. But thank you, Anamore, for kind of sticking up for me. Thank you. Christina Webber says, I like the way TJ does his show. Well, thank you, Christina. And nothing against DBD, you guys. Nothing against DBD. It's a good suggestion. Like I said, I've done somewhat kind of cooking videos in a way, like especially when I was in the truck. It was just showing my life in the truck. You guys can go back and look at some of my old trucker videos. And I think I just did a couple where I made stuff, because I used to have the little lunchbox cooker. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those, but it looks like a lunchbox, like an old lunchbox. It's black, and it opens up, and it has a thing where you plug it into your cigarette lighter. And there's a little tray. You can buy those little baking trays to stick it in there. Those little aluminum ones or whatever they're, tinfoil or whatever it is. Not tinfoil, but you know what I mean. And you can just put some food in there and you plug it in, and it just basically heats it up. So I think I did a couple of those videos back in the day. So I'm not averse to doing other things besides politics. Like I said, this is a show, and even in some of my theme songs, I think it does say that we talk about anything and everything: movies, music, bugs, pot, sports, balding. I don't know. Anyhow, primitive icon. I already saw that you said I, so I knew. Says it's an I, John. You can call me Robin. Yeah, I thought this is Robin M, right? Robin M, because I remember your the icon, your picture. I was going to say Robin M earlier, but then I thought, well, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and it'll be weird. It'll be weird. I believe you're Robin M, right? Belfast Bob says we could watch him painting and then watch it dry. Like I said, if that gets me 100,000 subscribers, I'll fucking do that all day long. I know I know I sound like I'm just a subscriber whore. There's probably some things I wouldn't do for 100,000 subscribers. I'm not sure what. I can't think of what I wouldn't do. Anyhow, yeah, okay. Well, so we'll see. Well, we can change subjects. I think at this point it is probably like beating a dead horse. I think I've said everything I have to say about it. I think you guys have said everything you have to say about it. Well, and I think I'm hoping we understand each other's points of view. I'm not that far removed from your guys. By your guys, I mean the guys that are upset with the hated eight, upset with Chuck Schumer. I'm not that far removed from that, but I think I just kind of see it as also being the complexity of it and the weighing out of, it's kind of that lesser of two evils type of a thing. So, I guess I think we've probably, unless something new comes up and there might be some new news, then maybe we could shelve that topic for a while, because at this point I think we're all just beating dead horses at this point. So, Christina Wyman says, TJ, I'm just worried because I'm about to go on Medicare and I don't know what to expect. Well, that's the thing too. And I just got on Medicare. I just turned 65 in October. So I'm just getting it as we're facing cuts. And those cuts aren't supposed to go into effect, as far as I know, until after next year's congressional midterms, and when that new Congress would be sworn in, which would be January of 2027. I believe that's when those Medicaid cuts that were in, I think, the big stupid bill, that's where that comes from, right? The Medicaid cuts. And so they aren't set to go into effect until, I believe, January of 2027. So hopefully we've got a year of services, a year of Medicare or Medicaid, and because those are two different things, but I think there's cuts in both, right? I see you know who is on now, so I'm probably going to lose a bunch of you. Tell them I said hi, because I ain't ready to quit yet. Tell them I said hi if you guys are going over there. But talk about not quitting. I ain't quitting. Just because somebody else comes on doesn't mean I'm going to quit or stop my show. So anyhow, but I do have him on my TV, just so you know. And I haven't burned his T-shirt yet. I have one of his T-shirts, and I'm not going to say his name. You guys have to guess who I'm talking about. And I'm not sure what I kind of interrupted myself. Oh yeah, about the Medicaid. So I think we've got, like I said, I think we've got a year, and then we'll see if we take back the House and hopefully the Senate. We would still be stuck with Trump if he's still alive by then. We would still be stuck with him. So I'm not sure even if we do win back the House and the Senate, I'm not sure if we would be able to do anything at all to, unless there's some sort of stalling techniques that we can do as far as those cuts going into effect. I don't think we could bring a bill up to the White House for the president to sign, because I don't think he would sign anything that would overturn those cuts or that part of the bill. So I don't know. It'll probably go into effect in 2027, and then we'll just have to, like I said, unless there's something that can be done to delay that or stall it, then we're going to be stuck with it for another couple of years, because then we're going to have another year before the presidential election, and then if we get the White House back, then we don't get he's not in until January of 2029, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These things just are weird. Sometimes they're weird, the way that the timing and everything. Jolie says, I think Dems need to stop pussyfooting around. Pussyfooting around! The orange douchebag got elected because he doesn't watch what he says. Mamdani proved we need to be more brutal in calling out BS. It works in New York. I don't know if that would work in Indiana or not. Mad Max says they asked Mini Mike Johnson when they would have the meeting he promised once, and the 8 Democrats capitulated. I like to call them the Hated 8 because I like the movie. No, oh yeah. And he would not answer the question. The lying bastard. Mike Grinder Mike. Yeah, he's a liar. He's a liar. DPD5844 says, I don't believe that you can ever be diplomatic towards those who are willing to stab you in the back and front while relishing every. I know, I get it. And going back to Jolie's point about being brutal or more brutal, yeah, there. I mean, you kind of got to mix it up. I think I guess there's a time for diplomacy and there's a time for just calling out the bullshit. So, Egal Twitler, agree, Trucker John, always vote against the greater evil. There you go. Egal. Brooklyn SJU says, Christina, don't worry before things that haven't happened yet. About the Medicare. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's probably going to happen in a little over a year from now. In like what, 15 months from now. And like I said, I don't know if there's if the Dems get back the House and the Senate, I don't know if there's things that they can do to stall it or to lessen it. But if it's going to be in the form of a bill that the president has to sign, then Trump is not going to sign that. I don't believe, unless he just gets struck by lightning and it becomes a whole new person or something. David Doug says, chat here is like time traveling. Let's do the time warp together. I don't know why I did that. Agolf Twitler says 80 days of U.S. government shutdown under Donald Trump with Republican in charge of the House. 53 days of government shutdown under all other U.S. presidents combined in 249 years. Where's the 80 days? We just did 40 days, and that was supposed to be the longest ever. We're at 43 days, I think, right now. I don't think it's officially open because I don't know if the House is back. We were over 40 days. I never heard of the 80-day thing, so I don't know. I don't think we did 80 days before. I don't know. Jolie says, Mad Mac, I think we all knew the later discussion on the ACA was BS. This is just a way for Dems to have fuel for midterms. I don't think they actually expected any sort of vote. Like I said, we're just gathering ammo against the Republicans. Actually, I'm a woman, Mad Mac, laughing out loud. And I'm mid-thread. Sandy Fold says, yeah, but you skip most of them. I do skip a lot, Sandy. Like, if I didn't skip as much as I do skip, I would be an hour and a half behind in the chat right now. Instead of 20 or 30 minutes, I would be literally an hour or hour and a half behind. So I just can't read them all, Sandy. I can't. Michael McAndrews. Hey, Michael, good to see you. If I didn't say hi to you earlier, thanks for being here. Michael McAndrews from the Upper Peninsula. I don't know why I'm giving you some sort of a hybrid of an accent there. It was not Michigander. That was not a Michigander. Anyhow, Michael McAndrews says, remember back in 2029? When we tore the Epstein ballroom down and built the East Wing? Such fun times. I hope so, Michael. I hope that is a something that comes to bear. I don't know. Primitive Icon says, and all Boeing cargo planes. Yeah, the cargo planes have been grounded. FedEx, UPS cargo. Yeah, so now it wasn't just commercial flights. It was getting into cargo flights. That's a good point. And that was something to look at. Richard, our expat down under, says, we here in Australia had Remembrance Day yesterday. Well, there you go. Which Remembrance Day sounds like it's a little bit more like our Memorial Day. And just our Memorial Day and our Veterans Day are two different things. Memorial Day, we take time as a somber moment to remember all those that have made the ultimate sacrifice, those that have died in service to this country. Remember them and thank them for their sacrifice. And Veterans Day, we're just thanking all the veterans for their service. We're very thankful for their service, and like I said, like what I said earlier, thanking them for having the guts to sign that dotted line, which I did not have. I'm not sure if it was a guts thing, but like I think I had the guts, but I just didn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I just didn't think maybe I had it in me to be a disciplined soldier or Marine in that case. And I don't think I had the smarts to be in the Air Force, and the Air Force wouldn't even let me in the door. MJ Daniel says, if the people of MTG's district in Georgia thought losing their SNAP was bad, just wait until they lose their ACA. She has already been hearing it from them. Yeah, that's why she's been changing her tune. Yep. That's why she's been saying some pretty reasonable things lately. Because she's been getting an earful in both ears from both sides, you know. Sandy Foltz, I had a sticker for $2. Oh, well, I did mention that, Sandy. I did. I gave you the yippee, and I gave you the heart and the thumbs up and everything. But just in case, yippee to Sandy, in case you didn't see that. Thank you so much, Sandy, for that. And we are 2/5 of the way on the goal. Nola Carter says, I just think our healthcare controlled by repubes and definitely needs to be looked at severely. Who is being paid for the higher cost and why is it not being regulated? Well, let's see. I'm trying to break this down here. I think our healthcare is controlled by Republicans. Definitely needs to be looked at severely. Again, we are operating as the minority. We have very little power. So when the majority party is in the majority, they have all the power. So that should answer your question. The Republicans are in power, and if it's not being regulated, it's because of the Republicans. They don't want to regulate it. They don't care about bringing costs down. You know, other than maybe some showy thing with Ozempic or whatever the fuck it was that Dr. Oz was. And it just struck me: is Ozempic, is that his company? Because Ozempic, is that his? Did it take me that long to figure that out? That must be his company, right? I don't know. Maybe it's not. But if it's not, then it should be. I mean, if my name was Dr. Oz, I would definitely have a fucking fat pill and call it Ozempic. Or maybe I would call it Ozlympian or something. I don't know. Belfast, okay. Belfast, well, okay, that would break the space-time continuum, Marsha. It'd be big trouble. Okay, that was mid-thread. Okay, I am skipping down. Belfast Bob with a £2 super chat. Yippee to Belfast Bob. Thank you so much. Thumbs up, heart says, it's your show, TJ. Yippee. Well, yippee back at you. I appreciate you, Belfast Bob. Appreciate the £2. And I appreciate your viewership and your contributions to the chat. I do appreciate you very much. Thanks. So thank you so much. Agoff Twitler says, vote for who you want in the primary, but vote against the greater evil in the actual election. Absolutely. Randy Rhoads used to always say, not the guitar player Randy Rhoads, but the liberal talk show host, who I believe is going under cancer treatments. I have not heard her latest situation, but a shout out to Randy Rhoads. I hope you're doing well. And we love you, Randy Rhoads. At least I do, and I think a lot of people, some people in the chat who know who we are, love you. So we're hoping the best for you. But Randy Rhoads used to always say, in the primaries, fall in love, and in the general, fall in line. And I know a lot of people probably take offense to the fall in line thing, and they're like, I'm not falling in line, I blah, blah, blah. But, you know, the sentiment is there, right, about what you got to do. Sandy Foltz says, there was a lot of hellos, but most people on this chat is not responding. Well, if they don't respond, don't take it personally. Like I've always said, you don't know what the people are doing. A lot of people might be cooking right now. They might be house cleaning. They might be taking care, running around trying to chase their grandkids, like Robert down in San Diego. You don't know if their eyes are glued to the chat and they just pop in and out, Sandy. So you just never know. So don't take offense if someone doesn't answer you or something. David Dog says, give Fetterman that cognitive test. I think I took it high and scored 100%, and the doctor said they couldn't believe it. I scored higher than anyone ever. That's funny, David Dog. That is very funny. Okay, now I'm skipping down in the chat, guys. I've skipped down quite a bit. Richard for Down Under says, we here in Australia go by popular vote only, with voting being mandatory. And those are things that many of us would love to have that, but we have to do constitutional amendments in order to do that. And that's not really easy, especially when you have over half the states have Republican governors, and we've got, of course, majorities in the House and Senate, and a Republican president. So right now, that's out of the question. It's really out of the question. Belfast Bob says, get the Republicans out, then you can primary the Dems you don't like. Well, in order to get the Republicans out, you have to vote in a Democrat or something other than a Republican. I mean, you have to, the primary happens first. Victor Archman says, I've been watching the Political Punk in the evenings. He's a little high-strung, but very entertaining to watch. I know that Jolie's been promoting Political Punk. I think I have watched Political Punk. If I'm not mistaken, he always wears a hat. More, not the baseball style hat, but it's more of the, I guess people call them trucker hats, even though I never wore that one of those. But anyhow, it's like a cap, and he kind of has long hair in the back, kind of blonde, greasy hair. I think I've watched him a couple times, and I think he's good. I think he's good, if that's the one. But I haven't watched. Maybe I've only watched him twice, and it's been a little while since I watched him. Brooklyn. So you says, Richard, I agree, but it'll never happen. Well, I wouldn't say never, Brooklyn. I wouldn't say never. Never say never. But I'm just saying that there's a lot of hurdles to jump over. It's not just waving our magic wand and making it happen. It's a process. It's a whole big process to do that, to get to amend the Constitution, which would take a constitutional amendment to overturn or whatever, or repeal. I don't know what the term is. I forget. When you take something out of the Constitution, like the Electoral College, because the Electoral College is in the Constitution. So that would take a constitutional amendment, and that's not an easy task. And it's not supposed to be easy. They want the framers, the founders, they didn't want the Constitution to be taken lightly and where someone could just, willy-nilly change it. It was meant to be a difficult process to make sure that the changes were really wanted and needed or whatever. So that part of it, yeah, constitutional amendment. As far as making it mandatory, making voting mandatory, I guess all that would take would be a bill or a law, to codify that into law. It doesn't, and as long as it meets constitutional muster, which is what I always thought the Supreme Court, their main function was, or at least one of the main functions was to check or that new bills and that they were being passed, that they did meet constitutional muster. So as long as some sort of mandatory voting meets constitutional muster, then that would be a little easier than repealing the Electoral College part of it. So that part of it would be a little easier, I think, but not real easy. I mean, you still have to get support and get the votes through in through Congress. Marshall Jones, they've covered his nut up. Oh yeah, look at there. Yeah, those bastards. Those bastards. Yeah, that's too good of a photo. I only copied it because it says pedophile of the year. So, and then I guess it says, does it say rape behind him? I didn't even notice with that. I think it says rape. Wow. Whoever did that, yeah. They were a little kind with him though on the sort of in the old days you would say airbrushing the nut. I don't know. I guess you just use AI now, but all right. Belfast Bob says it's hard to convince folks when all television, radio stations, newspapers are 95% owned by right-wing billionaire maggots. That's true. We wonder why mainstream media, legacy media, doesn't seem to give a real fair shake to Democrats and liberals, and they really promote Donald Trump and really helped get him in, at least through his first term, for sure. And yeah, those are the billionaires that Donald Trump advocates for. That's what the Republicans as a whole work for. That's what their entire goal is, to give everything to the billionaires and take everything away from everybody else. Jolie, how about those Eagles last night? I did watch last night. The fourth quarter, it was a low-scoring game. What was it, 10-7? And here's Jolie. She's got me off the political thing. Very good, Jolie. I was watching that, and actually the fourth quarter was kind of exciting, even though it was a low-scoring game. But the Packers actually finally scored a touchdown, and it was down to the last few minutes, and it looked like maybe they still had a chance, still time on the clock to at least tie the game, if not go ahead. But then as the clock wound out, and then the Eagles defense was able to hold them and hang on to the victory in Green Bay, up in the frozen tundra, and take the win, go home with the win. 10-7, Eagles over Green Bay Packers last night. Thank you, Jolie. Victor Harshman says, Jolie, my wife is a huge Bears fan. She was going crazy last night. Was there 2 games on last night? I only watched the one, because I know they've been doing double headers, and I forgot to check if there was a double header. Was there a double header last night, or was it just the Green Bay Eagles game? Josh Sees is here. I see you, Josh Sees. Always good to see Josh Sees. Josh says they got 5 to 6 inches of snow overnight. I did kind of see some of the weather reports. Like, yeah, the whole kind of eastern half of the country really looks like you guys have winter has come, even though it's still fall. But it looks like you got some winter weather already. Jolie says, I don't even know who won. I just happened to overhear someone at the gym saying there was a game. Victor Harshman, full disclosure, I don't hear who they played, so thanks. Josh C says, wrap the sausage in bacon, TJ. There you go. Yeah, that's a good idea. Brooklyn says, Boss Skaggs is on the radio now. I like the Boss Skaggs. He had 1 hit, basically, maybe 2 off the same album, right? And it's a pretty cool song, Bentley says, going to Brian. Yeah, see, that's the unnamed person I was talking about like 20 minutes ago, because I knew some of you were going to hightail it over there. But like I said, I ain't quitting. Brooklyn says it snowed for 5 minutes. Jolie says, I would prefer Pop-Tart making content. Gee, Jolie, I didn't know that you didn't appreciate my political take on things. All this time. Aaron West says, my temporary crown just fell off again. Oh, I hate that. That's happened to me before. I hate that. Then you got to go back and the thing and the stuff and the thing. And then you're like, I wonder if I should just change dentists because they can't even affix the crown properly. Marshall Jones says, that's my name. Blame my mother. Jolie says, if you watch old TJ videos, be sure to put on live chat replay, I'm hilarious. That's right. Jolie is. I was watching an old one. Well, I did post that short that I posted. If you guys saw that, that was from like 3.5 years ago. That was from one of the very, very, very first Trucker John live streams. I wasn't even calling it Trucker John Livestream. I was calling it the John Fowler's Super Trucker Show or something like that. So, you know, we've gone through some changes here. Gino Maynard says Tammy Duckworth of Illinois would make a damn fine minority leader. They don't campaign for it. It's a caucus vote. Announcing it is an easy way to lose committee assignments. Well, there has to be, okay, well, I believe that they talk amongst each other. They feel the temperature, take the temperature of the room. They got to know if there's someone that wants it. They can't, I don't believe they can just do a, what do you call it, no confidence thing or whatever, unless they feel they've got someone who's willing to step up to the plate. And, okay, so maybe we don't know because they're not going to say, but I think we would hear grumblings. I do, because I've heard stuff like that before. We would, I think that they would, the news would report if there were grumblings or anything like that, and I haven't heard a fucking thing. Paul Burrows, who farted? Whoever smelt it, dealt it, dude. Josh sees what I don't understand is how they can put out legacy programs and then say the tax cuts for billionaires are permanent. Jolie says, Brooklyn SJU, my best friend wants me to go see Boss Skaggs with him and his boyfriend. I'm still undecided. Squirrel Girl says, when I came to Trucker John Show, I stay on Trucker John Show till after the outro. Thank you, Squirrel Girl. Now that's what I like to hear. A little loyalty. Marsha Jones, I'm hanging in till get to Friday. Brooklyn, I'll go Jolie if you don't want to. If you don't want to go to see Boss Skaggs. It's probably good. It's probably good. David Dog says, I think this is fair and balanced show. A little politics mixed with everything else. Sometimes we have me getting evicted. Sometimes I have me walking around the strip. I haven't done those in a while, but someday I'm going to do more like Vegas stuff, Fremont Street and the Strip and stuff like that. I would like to get into some of that. And I was even thinking about doing a separate channel where I just do Vegas, you know, the Strip and the casinos and Fremont Street and some of the activities around. I was thinking about doing a whole separate channel for that, but I want to. There's a camera that I want to get before I do that, and I don't have the money for that camera right now. And the whole little package, it's like I think like $800 or something. Anyhow, Michael McAndrews 212 in Michigan. So, gosh, I'm still 21 minutes behind. 21 minutes behind you, Michael Andrews. I'm 21 minutes behind. 21 minutes behind you, Michael Andrews. 21 minutes behind. David Dog says, I did add a one-day blue hair dye in my Amazon cart. I haven't hit the button yet. I'm slowly talking myself into it. That's right. David Dog has been thinking about dyeing his beard. Which I think would be cool. I think, and not just dyeing it like, you know, brown, but yeah, blue and purple, or, you know, these type of things, these things of this nature, which I think would be cool. Mr. Spock, I'm eating a haggis pizza. Here we go with the haggis again. Now that's a subject we might go off on for 45 minutes, like we did last time, and the pineapple pizza, of course. Jolie's up on that hill. Marsha Jones, that's Tommy. Hey, Tommy. Where are you? Tommy, where are you, man? I don't see Tommy. Let's see. I'm kind of skipping down a little bit. You guys talking about winter gloves or fingerless gloves? That's cool. That's cool. Paul Burrows says fingerless gloves are good for picking your nose. I suppose so. It's kind of hard to pick your glove. It's hard to pick your glove with your nose. I don't know. Skipping on down. I'm skipping on down. Michael McAndrews, got to keep on trucking. Keep on trucking. Trucking. Brooklyn SJU says, I guess I won't get my cat's nails trimmed today. I'm still hanging out in the cafe with TJ. And I am over 2 hours now, and I'm not completely sure about the battery situation. Because the thing is, when I'm doing the show, I can't see the state of charge. But when it gets to 20%, it'll pop up real quick and say 20%, and then it'll disappear. I haven't seen that yet, but I have been looking down a lot at this screen down here. So I don't think I'm below 20%. I think I'm probably still above 20%. So, but I'm just guessing. But anyhow, we are over 2 hours. So should probably think about wrapping this up pretty soon and thinking about my next cooking video. You know? Michael McAndrews says, I got the leaves up just in time. It snowed an inch last night, but I have trees still dropping leaves. Yeah, that's how when you get the early snows and you still got leaves in the trees. Anna Moore says, TJ, I am here until Mr. Cookie shows up. I gotta go find him. I think him and Tommy. You guys are like, who's Tommy? Yeah, there's another person here besides Paul, the purple beard guy, and Tough Cookie. There's Tommy, who never comes on camera, never ever. That's not permittable. But Tommy's a big part of the show. Kind of like a producer, actually. But I usually only see Tommy if I'm like fake stoned. You know, I'm like, hey Tommy, can you pull up that video of Joe Rogan? I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no idea whatsoever. I'm just winging it, folks. Just winging it. You got that goddamn right. He's just winging it. Trucker John doesn't know his ass from a fucking hole in the ground. That's right. I'm here to tell you, Trucker John, he's just don't believe anything he says. He's full of shit, and he's just trying to fool you into thinking that, oh, he's some, I don't know, political fucking commentator. He doesn't know shit about politics. He should just talk about the shit that he knows. The only problem with that is that he don't know shit. So what are you going to do, huh? What are you going to do with a guy like that? I guess if you got nothing better to do with your life, you hang out with Trucker John, because it's basically time that you'll never get back. That should be the sort of subtitle of the show. It's time you'll never get back. Anyhow, guys, though, I just want to say thank you very much for being here today. I appreciate you. Now I'm going to go get high with Tommy, so I'll see you guys later. Yeah, man, go get high with Tommy. I was just getting high with Tommy. So, yeah, go take a hit on that bong, man. Hey, I was just looking at the. Why am I talking all stoned? I'm really not stoned. I'm Paul the purple beard guy. But I probably secondhand. But I was just looking at the state of charge on the iPad here. I was sitting over at the couch, didn't see it, but now I see that iPad. It's just interesting fact. It's at 37%. It started off at about 97%. Now it's down to 37%. But that's because it's not charged. It's not hooked up to a charging cord. I don't know. That probably means nothing to you. I don't know why. I'm talking about state of charge of things. When what I really mean to be talking about is, I hope everyone gets through these times. We're in November. If you can, folks, we're almost to Thanksgiving. I know times are tough as far as buying food and getting food, but man, if you can just, if you've got family or friends that you can be with, I think we need that kind of fellowship with one another, to be with each other, and now more than ever. So if you can get together with your family for Thanksgiving, please do it. Even if it's just like, maybe the dinner won't be as elaborate as usual. Oh, I do see we are down to 10%. Trucker John, we're down to 10%. The red thingy just came on. Apparently you didn't see it when it went to 10 to 20. Now it's down at 10. So we better get going. All right. So thank you guys very much for being here. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Trucker John really wants to get to 100K. We're at 4,180. We lost a few from the last show because Trucker John was being very mean and nasty to a lot of people. We lost 3. We lost 3 out of that show. So anyhow, I'll see you guys on the next one. We'll be back tomorrow. All right. I'll let Trucker John tell you all the times because I'm a little high right now. Okay, yeah. So we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so that will be 11 a.m. show right here on this channel, YouTube channel, right where you're at. Hit your notification button. It should come to you on your email account. It should come to you on your YouTube account, and it'll let you know when we're coming back on. But tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time, right here on the YouTube channel. I'll see you guys again. Thank you guys so much. Jolie says political punk is a Tommy too, and Brooklyn full mod capacity love. I'm just sort of scanning down some of these real quick. Brooklyn with a 99 super sticker. Yippee, Brooklyn. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate you. There you go. Thank you so much for that 99-cent super sticker. And Josh says, is there a show tomorrow or is that Bug Day? Well, apparently I thought Bug Day was going to be tomorrow, but the lady said it's not till next Wednesday now. So as far as I know, there will be a show tomorrow. If not, just look for the show. Even if I'm kicked out, I might do something remotely or something. I don't know. But just plan on being here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time. And yeah, you guys hang in there. Hang in there as best you can. We're in the minority when it comes to the political stuff between Republicans and Democrats. So it's going to be rough for a while until we can get back the majority. So our number one goal is to hang in there. Hang in there as long as we can. And keep fighting. And sometimes, Jolie's going to hate me for going back in the subject. Sometimes you got to retreat so you can live to fight another day. So let's do that. We're going to fight another day. We're not giving up the fight. I don't believe we're giving up the fight. There's just too many of us that are ready and raring to keep at it. So we're going to keep at it. All right, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Now, the only thing left to do is the words of wisdom. So get your paper and pen out and write this down. These are keepers, folks. This is good stuff. Okay, you guys ready? All right, so for today, words of wisdom.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I try to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John Livestream. Yeah, the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John Livestream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. I'm my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love, it's all about the thrills. It's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows, so So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road. Just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret. It'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life. Everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot. You're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye. See you later.
Yes! Yes! Woo! The Dodgers won! The Dodgers won! Yes! Yes! Woo-hoo-hoo! Dodgers won the World Series! Woo! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, Clayton, yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my God! Oh my God, that was the most amazing World Series ever. Dodgers!